With Armslist, you can shop the extensive list of local and nationwide firearms classified, now with more confidence because of their built-in firewall. For only $6.99 a month for personal use, or $30 a month for business vendors, so when you're in the market, please consider Armslist. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Armslist. Okay, bada bing, bada boom, there we are here. Let's get the jazz hands going. I'm gonna show some guns. You're joining us live on Player, so we can actually show off guns. There you go. I got guns. Dark's got guns. Babyface has got. Is that? Yeah, that's. I forgot what you called that thing. That's that shotgun, revolver, like Wild Wild West, whatever that.
Is that a reman or is that an original?
Oh God, no! I can't afford an original. This is
okay. I was gonna say, dude, I'm impressed.
No, this is.
Give him time. He'll get there.
The original Lamottes go for like $12,000.
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah,
maybe not. He's have to be a real baller to get to that level. Yes, as I said, you're joining us live on Player so that you can actually hold guns, do this, and knives. We will be showing knives. Oh, look at that. We got knives here. We're talking definition knives tonight since we got Dark here. And Babyface, Walter, and myself were hanging out yesterday with Flying Rich. This is, I hope you guys have your big girl panties on. This is episode 1044 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. The title is, definition knives, as well as has Trump picked a new ATF director? Patrick is showing, what are you showing off, Patrick? What's that?
Showing off guns.
Oh, that's a tube, right?
Oh, it looks like a, I want to say Sten?
That's what this is. This is a Sten Mark II that is roughed in. So I got all the roughing done. I have to do a little bit of work I got to trim down the tube until that lines up with the slot properly. And then I just got to file in. You can see how there's still laser engraving on there. I got to file into the laser engraving. And then this should go clack, 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 clack.
Yeah. Are you going to make that integrally suppressed or probably not?
It's not hard to do because of this.
Shouldn't be.
To do that, you would take this apart. It's just expensive. And then you would just take the barrel out and put an integrally suppressed barrel in and tighten it down.
You're not ready to go to doing your own cans yet? Probably not.
I'm never going to produce suppressors.
Dude, I have a super crazy theory. Okay, so the MP5 SD and a lot of the integrally suppressed platforms. They're not like a lot of baffles. The design isn't really like anything crazy. It's like
terrible.
Ported, and it's got like a tube around it. If you
and some washers.
Yeah.
It's old tech. It's old tech too. It's not none of them. Wait, is there? No, I can't think of one that's really, let's say, younger than like 20, 30 years old that I've shot for sure.
Vector is the only thing you can get that's new.
Yeah, but was the Vector built? There's no Vectors built integrally suppressed.
I'm sure somebody's done it, but it's not from the shop. No.
Yeah. Okay.
It's probably custom done.
Yeah, I've never seen one, but they're definitely cool. It'd be nice to see some tech come.
I mean, have you seen the inside of a like a VSS Viternez or any of those integrally suppressed 9x39 guns in Russia?
No, not me.
It's literally washers with holes in them. That's the reason the can is. You guys can't see. The can is like 3 feet long because the suppression technology absolutely sucks. You could make that gun again today with like this big of a baffle stack, and it would have the same suppression.
Yeah. Would you go ahead? Yeah, I was gonna.
That's kind of how the 1022 integrally suppressed ones are. It's like a bunch of porting and like 3 baffles, and it's like like 14 inches long. I'm like, what?
Well, if they use today's tech and you had that same size, it would be relatively quiet. I don't know if it would get like whisper like 22 suppressed quiet, but probably you can get there. put some AI into it. Yeah. So like I was saying, has Trump picked new ATF director? DLD After Dark is here to talk about definition knives. Of course, we've got Babyface P here as well. Walter's not joining us tonight because he's about to go on a big trip over to Belgium. So I'm just waiting for him to come back with authentic waffles.
I want chocolate.
Belgium. I don't know. Maybe it was just because I was a kid when we used to go to Brussels and I would get those and they tasted so delicious. You know how there's things that in your memory when you were a kid it was so delicious? Yeah, and then you try it now, you're like, this is kind of horrible. So
there's no way their waffles have to be amazing.
It has to be. I haven't had it.
Do you know why a lot? This is a random interesting fact. Do you know why a lot of confectionery things in Europe are better than what we have here?
The water.
Water is one, but butter fat content. Their butter has. Our butter is like 30% butter fat. When you make butter from their buttermilk, or not buttermilk, from their whole milk, ours that we use is like 30% butter fat. Theirs is like 42% butter fat. So everything is like creamier and tastier and fattier. That's why it all tastes good.
They're like the Amish then.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
Whenever I'm in Amish country, have you never been?
The Amish have high butterfat milk.
The Amish, if you get any kind of confectionaries from the Amish, you will go into a sugar coma.
Yes, it's always better.
It's good. Yeah.
I think part of it though too, like when you think of stuff like from when you were a kid, it's different. Like I used to always say as a kid, like my grandma makes the absolute best, like stunning cinnamon rolls. I don't know what it is, but like they were just incredible, right?
Some kind of special love, Yeah.
Yeah. And then I grew up like, and I was a teenager, and one day she was like, you want to come down and help me make cinnamon rolls? And I was like, oh my goodness! Like,
don't tell me they're right out of a Pillsbury.
literally Pillsbury.
No,
I figured that was coming.
Yeah.
Oh damn it!
It literally is the love that went into it that made them taste good. 100%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think for me, the reason why they were probably good, and this could be another reason. Like my mom made everything, so she grew up in being from the Caribbean, born after World War II. And you had to make all your own stuff. So she made cakes from scratch and fudge and all that kind of stuff, which was delicious. It was awesome. But, it was all homemade stuff. So when we would travel and you would get you would go to another country and someone else made something, it was like, what? Yeah. There's other kinds of food out there.
Having gotten married in the Caribbean, man, they don't play. Like when it comes to food and stuff like that, like it's a whole nother ball game. It was cool.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Let me check and see here. If for anyone who's coming in, as you guys come in, smash those arrows ups here.
The food was great, but the marriage failed. But the food was great.
Yeah. Was your wife from the Caribbean? I don't know. That's probably getting too personal.
No. Oh no. I'm totally good. She's from New York, so she's got that up north attitude. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Is it good or bad? I grew up in New York too, so.
When I was like 21, it was cool, and then
it was sexy.
Yeah, it was like
it faded fast.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, she's kind of an asshole.
Listen, man. There's all these. You have to live life to learn, and things change over time. You know what I mean? And there's always these things when we're young men that we get crazy about, like maybe an accent. Yep. Or you think this particular big booty I could live with for the rest of my life, and sometimes you can, sometimes you can't,
I think part of it is like so I don't want, so people out there are probably like, well, I'm from up north, like DLD, like what the hell? Like, hey, I don't mean it like that, because okay, so you're from up north, right? Mm-hmm. But you don't have that like up north, like, screw everyone, like I'm the only person in the world kind of, Like you're a great person.
A little well-to-do.
Yeah, it's like when she walks around, like I say, like she walks around with horse blinders on, right? Like she just the world is like I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't mean to make it about her.
No, listen, I know. I mean, growing up in New York City, trust me. So Lola and I met in New York City, but Lola's from Maryland. She's a Maryland girl. But and like me from outside of America, right? We both came to America in '83, but from different places. Well, actually, we both came from West Africa. She came from Ghana, and I came from Nigeria here. But yeah, listen, I grew up in New York, man. I mean, it's not just women. Like everyone's shiesty in New York.
For sure. Yeah.
It's a rat race, and I think you find that in any of those big cities where it's a rat race, and
And luckily, you can now defend yourself. You're just going to be.
I wouldn't say so. You're talking about
by the city. You're going to be taken to court over.
I don't think you can actually defend yourself. But at least one dude got off.
I'm hoping they turned a bit of a corner because I think New Yorkers are finally getting fed up with what's going on.
Yeah, you're talking about the Daniel Penny thing.
Oh, yeah,
you're talking about Daniel Penny, which we could. Let me see. I'm trying to see where Daniel Penny is in the news things that we could bring up here. Bam. So Daniel Penny, I don't know what anyone thinks about it. Daniel Penny's acquitted of death of Jordan Neely on subway. And I think, what was it, yesterday or day before yesterday, that the jury came to a deadlock.
Yeah.
Friday there was a deadlock, and then the judge. It was all sorts of crazy. The prosecution withdrew. So there were two charges. There was the main charge and the subcharge. They could only vote on the subcharge, which was criminal negligence, basically. It was involuntary homicide, involuntary manslaughter, and then like criminal negligence that ended in a death were the two charges. They were deadlocked on the main involuntary homicide, involuntary manslaughter. So they were not allowed to look at the second charge unless they had a decision on the first charge. Well, the prosecution came in late in the day on Friday and said, we would like to drop the first charge, thinking that they might, because they had a deadlock jury, they might get a conviction on the second something
charge. Yeah because if you don't get anything, you just wasted the people's money, which in this case, that's essentially, in my opinion, what they did. It's not like we were talking about growing up in New York City. I grew up in New York, went through all of this kind of stuff multiple times, been robbed several times, including on the train, threatened a bunch of times, all that kind of stuff. It's never fun to like see someone wind up dead, but there's multiple things went wrong here.
Yeah, at some point, it's your own fault for doing the things you do that get you to the place you are in life.
Yeah, one is the guy who's crazy who's there. Two, I think, is also the system that is just letting this crazy guy who they've arrested and who's done things just continue to be out there doing things. And I also, I don't think New York City has to, like what you're saying, there is some blame that New York City has because people cannot easily defend themselves. So that puts crazy people in a position that they could just terrorize people on the train.
Yeah,
and they know
no consequences.
People know it.
Yeah. And this guy was maybe he wanted to get killed by someone. Who knows?
Well, I mean, he said that on the train. He said that he's willing to die today. He's willing to go back to jail today. Right. And that somebody was going to die. He was right, but I don't think he...
Sometimes that someone could be you, but I mean, like I said, growing up in New York, I've seen people pushed on the subway. I used to work in a halfway house for crazy... Oh, yeah. I worked in a halfway house for crazy people.
I've never been to New York. That's just... People are just like, oh, yeah, that just happens.
That's normal. It's not very normal.
Dude, check... Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Hank. You were telling a story. You used to work what?
Okay, just quickly, I worked in a place that was a halfway house for some place they had called Creedmoor, which is a big mental institution in New York. And so basically, when you got a little bit better, they sent you to this halfway house, and then they put a bunch of drugs in you. You got crazier, went back to Creedmoor. It was about somewhere between 350 and 400 people in that facility. And I would go up there on the subway and all that kind of stuff, and I'll be going home or coming in on the subway, and I'll see crazy-ass people right on the subway with me, some of them who push people onto tracks and stuff like that. So it's very common. Yeah, sorry. Dark, go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's I've seen videos where like if somebody were to have been stabbed in front of one of you guys, what would your reaction be? Like shock?
If it's that close,
yeah, for sure, shock.
Turn and run if you can.
Yeah, shock, fear, or maybe you want to try. You don't know what that person is doing. You don't want to see someone die in front of you because it's not fun.
Yeah,
a lot of things.
But you probably wouldn't just be like, "Oh, that's yucky," and then like just keep moving, right? Like I was watching this video, and I've seen several like this, but there's a video where this older guy, I mean, he's not old, right? But this older guy, probably in his 30s, very athletic looking guy, was getting into it with a younger kid, and a younger kid was holding back the other younger kid, trying to keep him like from going and fighting this older guy. But you could tell the older guy was kind of cocky, like young boy, I'm going to put a whooping on you kind of thing, right? Well, what he didn't see, because they were kind of doing like the two younger kids were doing like a dancing
circling
number,
around.
like he was like holding him back, right? He didn't see that he opened up a karambit and flicked it out, and the dude they started boxing, but because he didn't see, you always got to look at the hands, the waistband, the pockets, because if you saw that pocket clip, you would have known that he had at least access to a knife, right? Well, he held over him, he got him down, held over him, and just basically gave him free rein to his lower body. And the dude took the karambit, went right over his groin, and just slid up his gut. And you just see sprinkler. I mean, like 15 to 30 seconds, he was done.
Oh yeah.
And I'm watching it, and it's just like, I mean, it was horrible, right? But I'm looking in the background, and people are just like, and just walking by, and this dude is like stumbling and like leaking I'm talking about like like sprinkler style, like just femoral arterial bleeding like everywhere. And
that's a big part of that's general shock. But yeah, I mean, it's common for people to stay out of it. I think
a big part of it is people just don't give a shit. You get so desensitized to the nonsense.
But also, I mean, what are you supposed to do in New York City? Like, what should you do?
Like your final moments are gonna be like on someone's YouTube channel. Like that. Yeah. That's the crazy shit nowadays.
But if you think about a place like New York City, what can you? And this is like a question that people have over and over again. What do you do? Because anything you do, you get in trouble. Like this guy got in trouble for what he did, and at the end of the day, it's a place that if you get involved, you now become responsible.
And he didn't introduce a knife, a gun, a tool. He matched ordinary force with ordinary force. Unfortunately, somebody died as a result of it, but that was just ordinary force,
But in New York City, I mean, even in your own home, places like this, if someone breaks in there and wants to do harm to you and your family, you're supposed to retreat from those people. So what else?
This is what you do.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's okay. I think I've been places and seen things happen and see people react and try to stop things. But I think there's so many stories of where those people could get hurt and all that kind of stuff. So if I'm thinking about people that I love, like if I'm talking to my kids, I would tell them, unless it's your brother right there in trouble, you need to stay the hell out of that. Right? And even as a kid growing up in New York City, even when people wanted to start shit, I would try to like avoid the shit, because once you get into it, you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. So unless you get backed, we're just talking about a place where it's not helpful for you to try to help anyone. And then if you look at the cops in that, I didn't spend a bunch of time studying that case while it was going on, except to realize, like, hey, at the end of the day, this guy was trying to help people on the train, and, he tried to subdue the guy. That wound up with the guy dying, but I don't think he tried to murder the guy, right?
The guy still had a pulse and was breathing when
the cops got there, they didn't want to give him direct mouth to mouth, and I don't blame him.
Because they were afraid of AIDS, which is totally a crazy homeless drug addict. I'm not giving you mouth. Fuck off.
They also just look. I'm not taking anything away from police officers. I'm not giving them anything either. But they waited like 6.5 minutes before they took his pulse on the video. Like that, that's crazy. Like they could have saved his life.
Possibly,
maybe.
yeah.
But they were also putting themselves at risk, and they're probably dealing with that every day.
Of course.
I'm not an EMS.
Have you guys ever
really my job?
Have you? I know we're running up on a short clock here, but real quick, have you guys ever been choked out, like really choked out?
I'm not into what you're into, Dark, so not voluntarily.
Dude, it's so hot. I'm just kidding. No,
I don't think he's kidding.
3 to 5 seconds, and you're out with a blood choke.
Yeah, and once you're out, you're out. You've lost any control over what's going to happen to you. We're taking a quick break. We'll be right back here.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Franklin Armory. Franklin Armory provides 100% US-made firearms and awesome binary option triggers. Their focus and purpose is to provide freedom tools to all Americans, especially those in not-so-free states. So when you're in the market, please consider Franklin Armory. Yeah, listen, I'm not trying to... I very vividly remember... the Bernard Getz situation in New York, which is way back when he was in New York. He had a gun on him. I think he'd been robbed before. He was on the subway. These kids asked him the time. Yeah, which is like a prelude to trying to rob you and all that kind of stuff. And I remember that being a young black kid in New York City who was not the person I am today. So I'm just trying to paint a picture for you as very liberal leaning and all that stuff. When that thing happened with Bernard Getz, I was on Bernard Getz' side. When he was acquitted, I was on his side. Yes, because I've been robbed.
Tired of the nonsense happening in the subways.
Yes, I've been robbed. I've been in trouble. I'd even, done what I needed to do at times to protect myself in New York City. And so I empathize with him over the people who make life difficult for other people. And this is the problem we have. And the great equalizer for that would be to allow the people of New York to defend themselves. And I don't think that, Patrick, that was in the 80s, bro.
Yeah, no, they're terrified.
You were probably like a little baby at that time.
I don't think I was even alive
when the Bernard Getz thing. Let me see. I would have to look because I think that was
or something like that.
I think it's 86, 7, or 8.
Yeah,
I would have to look it up. But it's very, I don't even know exactly how to spell the Getz on this one. Let's see. Let's look it up. 1984, actually. Wow. Yeah, so you weren't even born. Yeah.
Nope.
I wasn't born either.
Yeah, I was like a freshman in high school. So, yeah, I remember that whole thing. And I'm not sure exactly how long that took to play itself out, but I remember all of that. So
it was a big deal.
Yeah, it was a very big deal. And there's other things.
I'm not hip to the situation.
So it was a Jewish guy that was in the subway, and he'd been robbed before, so he had a gun. These two young black kids tried to rob him. He shot them, and he caught similar charges to this. It was a whole long thing. He got acquitted, and there was there wasn't, I don't think, full blown riots, but there were people, saying it's racism, this thing, that thing.
The same people that complained this time were the ones that complained last time.
Who are also celebrating that a CEO was murdered as well. It's really bizarre.
Nuts. Yeah, we'll talk about that too. I also remember a completely different story in New York of this kid who was working, because a lot of the crime is controlled and perpetrated by cops. I'm not saying there's bad cops in New York. I have lots of friends and even family members that are on the police force there.
This is my daughter.
Sure.
I'm so sorry. I'll be right back.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah. So the thing is, I remember an incident with a kid who was working for the cops in selling drugs. So in other words, they would take drugs off of bad guys and then give it to other bad guys. And when their ring was finally about to be broken up, they realized that this kid had all this evidence on them.
Did they have him killed?
Well, they tried to, but he turned out he was a badass. And he wound up shooting up a bunch of them when they tried to get him, and then he was on the run in New York City for months. And every time the cops would think they caught him somewhere, they would also get fucked up in shootouts and things like that. I think he eventually turned himself in. He was put on trial, and he got off of most of the charges except the gun charges, because he proved the cops were actually running him and that the cops are corrupt. So let people in New York be able to defend themselves, please.
How it should be.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
Things would sort themselves out rather quickly if people were allowed to defend themselves.
I can't remember the name on that one, but we would have to we really have to dig. I think someone made a movie about that. Primitive Hunt. By the way, shout out to Jade Grew. I see him out there.
That wasn't White Boy Rick, was it?
No, it was a young black guy.
Oh, black guy. Okay. White Boy Rick was the other one with the cops.
I think this guy eventually died in prison because he wound up, like, he got out, but he had charges, so he had to do time. He wound up getting out and then going back or something. I don't know. But it's a whole saga. Primitive Hunter's out there as well. He says, BFP, have you seen the new 3D hotness, the STG 556?
No. Is it 3D printable or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
Dark, I think, is, well, our resident 3D printer is not on tonight. Rich
is
Rich. Resident 3D printer.
That's looks like that's going to be a clone.
Steyr.
Excuse me.
STG
is it
556.
STG?
Well, I know what the STG 556 is. We're not talking about like a Nylog.
Yeah. Are we? I don't know. Or
the STG 556 is the original style. Oh no, the STG 556 is the Microtech. That's what I have.
Oh, is there something new coming out on that? You have to give us some more details on that Primitive Hunter, so we can look it up, and see what's going on with that. I didn't know. I haven't heard anything about that, other than what we've done. Let's see. Did you want to go over to the other thing? I think either you or Dark just brought up. What was the other case we were just talking about?
They found the shooter for the.
The shooter thing.
CEO shooter. Yeah.
What's your thoughts? Have you been following that?
No, I don't have a popular opinion. I don't think the guy should be murdered, but I also think that particular insurance companies in general are scams and evil. I don't think you should murder the guy over it, but it doesn't. Let me say it like this: it doesn't surprise me that it happened.
So they think they've caught someone, and this is the CEO of United Healthcare, I think.
Yeah, CEO United.
Yeah, so he was basically assassinated in New York City.
The dude just walked up on him, shot him a couple times, and
walked
away.
And it's big news.
It took them forever to find him.
Yeah, I think they knew. Well, they were putting out less than what they really knew.
They knew who he was fairly quickly, I imagine.
And it might look like it was a professional type of thing, but in the end, the guy probably was not very professional.
Not professional. It was an Ivy League. He's a smart Ivy League kid. He's not a professional.
Yeah, and there's
he just mentally. He was more mentally prepared to do it than a lot of folks that do shit like that. He clearly was just, this is what I'm doing and it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think this is a case of those attention-seeking people, like the broken folks who are out there, even though this guy might have gotten...
I don't know. I know obviously his motivation has something to do with he doesn't like United Healthcare, but he didn't go out of his way to seek it. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure what the point is.
Well, I mean, right now we're just getting whatever information they're giving us. It seems they found him with the gun, with the suppressor, with a manifesto and all that kind of stuff.
They do have a manifesto. Okay.
Yeah. It seems like he likes attention, even though it looked like he was trying to hide himself.
If he were really serious about not getting caught, he would have offed himself, would be my thought. Because, I've had that thought before where I'm like, no matter what happens, I ain't going to prison. I'm not going to.
But this seems to me like a case of someone who wants to he went after a high-profile person. Maybe in his mind he had something that he thought this was somehow noble or whatever. But he didn't take himself out. But a lot of these school shooters and stuff like that do not take themselves out.
That's true. So maybe it's in that same vein.
Yeah, and they want to be famous somehow by doing this bad thing. So regardless of what you think, listen, healthcare is a business in this country, and it's one of the things that we have refused to fix. We've really refused to fix it. It is a business. No one's going to get into a business where they lose money or they burn money.
Honestly, it's a business dealing in death, right? I mean, that's kind of the way it is because a lot of times they don't approve coverage. They allow coverage to run out or whatever it may be, but I have a little bit of a different thought on it. I honestly think that the person that was caught was a fall guy And I think, look, there's no way that a dude
Mm-hmm.
that has put this much thought and attention to detail and like methodically placed, certain things, like,
Mm-hmm.
I just find it so unlikely that he accidentally dropped a cell phone at the scene of the crime. He accidentally,
Yeah, but do you think it was really well thought out? Do you really think he was that much of a professional, or just someone who was smart but not really super smart and really didn't think this out? They just think they're smart.
I don't think it's about the person that did it at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's about the people that are connected to the people that are connected.
So you're
to the
thinking an
people
overall thing here, because like United Healthcare, the top brass at United Healthcare, including the CEO, they were caught up in a scandal where they knew the stock was going to go down, and they sold like about $100 million worth of stock before bad news came out. Yeah, and they were all under investigation. So,
you're making me hate this guy's action less and less the more we talk about.
No, but I think you got to say I look at all these things in separate ways, and so for what Dark is saying is, hey, maybe this guy is just a patsy or something like that in the situation. I don't know.
Here's what. Okay, so think of it like the streets, right? You have like manufacturing, and you have the guys at manufacturing dealing in millions. Then you have the dudes, at
distributing maybe, and then
then you have, and then you go all the way
mid-level
down to the border, and it's like it's the same story throughout the whole thing, right? But all of it's riddled with violence and money and all that. Same thing for shadow government stuff and big business stuff. You got the dudes at the top dealing in the millions, then you got the dudes below that are dealing in the hundreds of thousands, the dudes below that dealing in the thousands, and dudes below that dealing in the hundreds. So somebody could absolutely been like, hey, do this hit for 50K, not knowing it's coming from somebody perhaps affiliated loosely with the government that somehow could be affiliated with somebody. This could be a multi-million-dollar thing,
right?
Where somebody could grab somebody that's an anti-capitalist like this guy that has a track record of his whoever.
So you're saying push them in a direction, like maybe people were pushing people to go after Trump or something like that.
I think it would make sense if that's what came out, but I also think that if we are talking about people that are messing with millions of dollars, it would be very easy to tell a guy, yo, we're going to give you $1 million. Let's say the shooter goes to a patsy, potential patsy, says, we're going to give you $1 million. Just go to this place, this day, this time, wear this jacket, wear a gator mask, pull it down, order a coffee, and then go here at this time, pick up a backpack, hold it until December 15th or whatever, and then boom.
I think that's too much. If you look at the Boeing situation, right? Look at how dudes were dropping off from Boeing. It was just looking at like an accident. So I think in healthcare, it's definitely big money, without a doubt. And these guys were definitely getting into something, and they were being investigated for it. And also, this guy had a security detail in the past, and then was messing around in New York City with no security details. So there's questions there. Yeah. But if there's serious money behind this and you want to take someone out, you don't want to leave any loose ends or anything. You just want to take them out in a way, make it look like a complete accident or something else. I think
that's why I wouldn't be surprised if the guy that was caught, gets found in a jail cell or something like that.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
If that happens, then maybe.
But there's always another level, like there's always another layer, like the movie Shooter, right? Like when they're talking about the JFK killing, he's like, those boys are buried outside the desert in Terra Lingua, and they're like, how do you know? He's like, I still got the shovel. It's like the moment you introduce somebody else, you have somebody stab him in jail. What are you gonna do to the guy that just stabbed homie?
Yeah.
Right? And then
I mean, this was tried in the past. Yeah, all of this was done in the past with JFK. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever know what's going on here, because there's so many things that happen nowadays, and we never know, and we don't have explanations for what's going on, or we don't really get to the bottom of it.
Just real quick, I just want to say, shout out to Chairman Juan for developing some really dope 3D printed Glock frames, because his V1 was used in this assassination.
So this was a 3D printed.
I have
firearm?
a picture of it. Okay. It was a 3D printed Glock, and
that's been confirmed by the cops.
I told everybody this. Everybody was saying, "Oh, it's the B&T. It's the B&T." No bullshit. It's a B&T.
And not only that, it also is a Patmos Judah slide with some ridiculously high suppressor height sounds. So if you're wondering why
it's not, it's complete coincidence, but I actually have a.
Hey, nice.
I think we got these from Brownell at some point, right?
Really?
Yeah. I think we got this. This is some kind of video we did. Patrick, I think
that's part of that's JSD supply, I thought.
Oh, is it? Okay, there you go. Boom.
Yeah, Patmos is JSD supply.
Right. Okay, you're right. Yeah, so that was JSD. Yeah.
365?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, this is also 365 with the. There we go, Patmos right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're gonna see a push in the direction of going after
anti-3D printing,
3D stuff, going after suppressors and all of that. None of that is gonna stop anyone. But for sure, we're going to see all that craziness trying to go down. I keep forgetting to show this. Hold on, let me show this. Bam. Check that out. That is the logo for the show tonight.
Nice.
Yeah, Babyface is always represented by some kind of scruffy dog. So there you go. This kind of German Shepherd mix, I want to say here today. I don't know what that handgun is, that because I'm always the skeleton, and then you, Dark, are the guy in the hood
with the sword. That's awesome.
Is it a sword or a knife? It's supposed to be a knife. We can't see the whole thing in this, and then the world is blowing up behind us. That's what's going on here.
Could not be more true. That is like exactly what's going on in the world today. The
world's going to hell in a handbasket, and we are December 9th today.
Yeah.
The Assad government has fallen in Syria. French government has problems.
It's something to remember. The rebels taking on Assad are not our friends. Assad is not our friend.
None of these people are our friends. Yeah, none of them. Yep. In my opinion,
but
if you didn't know, people listening, there used to be a thing called Christian Syria.
Mm-hmm.
It was real until a certain group of people took it over.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I know a dude that fled Syria, and right as this was years ago, but as he was literally running, he was promised papers and all this from helping the U.S. He was a civil engineer. He helped the U.S. design a bunch of buildings, bridges, whatever, and he was literally running from the rebels, and his sister was shot in the head as he was holding her hand fleeing, and dude, his brother was killed too. And another cool thing, dude, just the power of the human spirit, and when we stick up for each other. He lived in a village, and what they would do is they would come, if you were a Christian, they would basically hunt you down, seek you out, and then when they identified you, they would mark someone's home. They'd put a big mark on the home.
Yeah, that's from back in the days. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's symbolic, but I mean, and this was like I don't know, 10, 15 years ago that he left. But the assassins come back and they look for the homes that were marked as a Christian. I think they put a C or something on it to symbolize Christ, or a cross or something like that. So all the people in the village saw that his house was marked. So all the people, even though some were Muslims, some were Christians, every single house in the neighborhood was marked. So when the assassins came out to wipe his house out, the entire village was marked. And that, it's just gave me chills thinking of man, people actually taking a stand for something. I don't know.
Human nature. There's a lot of crazy shit going on every day in the world. So there's I don't know, man. There is a lot of shit happening right now. I mean, you've got Trump in Paris for the what is this cathedral?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. And I mean, he's over there flirting with Jill Biden. It's a lot of crazy, cats sleeping with dogs.
Dude, It's crazy.
Yeah. Total chaos. Yeah. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening right now. Like, who knows? And then where's Joe Biden? I don't know.
He's busy lining up the pardon for Fauci.
Yeah.
He's probably going to pardon everyone. He's probably going to give out...
What? What are you pardoning them
any
for?
crimes committed in the last 10 years.
That's not a fucking pardon.
I'll tell you. Bro, straight up.
He did it. He just did it. Yeah.
Mainstream media is literally... and they're setting up the narrative now. I promise you, hand to God, my belief is that he is going to pardon Fauci and others, right? Mm-hmm. But the reason I say that is because you notice that the way they do messaging is, when they send something out, they all send the shit out with like verbatim, same words, right? Mm-hmm. So they were saying CNN, MSNBC, freaking CBS, all the acronyms, they're all saying because they believe Trump is going to come after all these people because they're his political enemies, out of perseverance. And preservation, they're going to pardon all these people just in case he chooses to come out.
When Trump has never done that, and they've totally done it, but you will see Hillary get pardons. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like High Point Firearms and Full Forge Gear, bags and gear for everyday life. Did you know High Point is an American family-owned and operated company located in Ohio with over 30 years of manufacturing experience? High Point is proud to be the home of the working man's gun and your source for affordable handguns and carbines with a lifetime warranty. So when you're in the market, please consider High Point. Yeah, you're showing off the High Point. Very nice. Hold on, let me go full screen on you. Hold on one second. Where is this? There we go. Boom. Sorry. All right, go for it.
So it's actually not complete yet, so forgive me, but this is the High Point PDW, and this is actually, believe it or not, a High Point OEM compensator. So this is a 3D printed frame, and it's got a Picatinny brace here on the side.
Oh, it's cool. The frame looks a little bit like those 80% frames, like someone repurposed the 80% frame.
It's basically that. And then I got this 3D printed MCX brace, which is going to go on the back here. Totally a brace, by the way.
Nice. Are you going to paint that gun, or are you going to leave it?
I don't know. I kind of want to leave it disgusting and ghetto.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hate you for it. So what was I gonna say here?
We're off topic. We can move to a different topic.
No, I think we should. Well, no. What I wanted to talk about is all the people who are going to get pardoned.
Oh yeah, we're talking pardons. That's right.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Hillary. I think you'll see the Obamas, the Clintons.
Insanity.
You'll see.
You can't just pardon for
you're going to see Jay-Z and P. Diddy get pardoned.
Anything they did in the last 7 years, they're fine. Anything
they've
done,
you're going to see a lot of pardons get given out. Yeah. Was it, Patrick, didn't you say that Obama was the one who gave out the most pardons in the last...
Yeah, we looked at the pardon rate. Obama history. Had like 2,800.
I think Biden is going to break those records.
I agree. And they didn't really like market or advertise it when Obama was going pardon crazy, which it just happened to be like it didn't catch the news cycle, right? Or people didn't care, or maybe at that time the velocity of information was so much slower that like we weren't consuming information like
Obama
we are now.
Was the golden child. He did no wrong. He got through his entire campaign, his entire thing with not having a single issue. Remember that?
Yeah.
There were no things.
Yeah, no one betrayed him. No scandals. No books.
No scandals. That's what it was. There's zero scandals in the Obama administration.
Come on.
The only presidency that got wrapped up here with no scandals, zero scandals. I'm like, you've murdered an American citizen. Like, what? You were the drone breaking
guns across the border.
Oh yeah, there was lots of shit that went down. So I think we are going to see blanket pardons. It's good. Yeah, it's highly likely.
That's insanity. Those people belong in prison.
I agree with you, but
Fauci, for the way Fauci conducted himself and treated the general public like essentially a checking account in the 80s during AIDS and through the pandemic, he deserves to be hung in. I'm sorry. He deserves to be addressed for
the way you just left it. It seems like Fauci. Yeah, he's got a big schlong because you said he deserves to be hung. He deserves to have a big schlong. Walking around with all that money from the American people.
He should be hung in the streets, in the town square, if there is one anymore.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we're going to see a lot of bad things before we get to the end of the year and before the inauguration. I keep telling Patrick and Walter that I feel like somehow they're going to try to sneak Harris in as president.
Not going to happen. Biden doesn't like her.
Okay.
Biden hates her. Not going to happen.
So what makes you think that? I'm just curious.
I don't know. Well, first of all, there's some crazy people on the fringe, like you were saying. The people in the media mentioned it, like, oh, if he was really brave, I don't want to see it happen. I think it's a loser's way to win, right? Where you just get the participation
First
trophy.
Female president.
Yeah, but these people are not above that. And I feel like they're pushing it, but also we don't know it. Even if Biden doesn't want it, I mean, the fact that he pardoned Hunter so early kind of makes me wonder how healthy is Biden. Well, I never thought he was going to make it like to the, to January 20th. Yeah. I didn't think he was. Yeah.
And they've been like remarkably quiet since the election. Like I'm blown away at how they're. Yeah. I mean,
he didn't go to Notre Dame, and he's supposed to be a Catholic. He didn't go.
Catholic, my ass.
Yeah,
I agree, but I'm just saying though.
Yeah,
he didn't even go for the photo op. And Trump is acting like he's president already. But
Trump's basically taking over. It's insane.
Yeah,
it's really crazy.
Yeah, but it's not above these people to do this type of shit. I hope they don't do it. But I just feel like they are doing dumb shit. This is the people who put like transgender dudes to in charge of nuclear waste and shit like that, right? So
yeah, and yes, you're correct. Disgusting.
Yeah, so I hope it doesn't happen. I hope I'm wrong on that one.
Yeah, I just can't imagine. So you're thinking like while he's still president, him sneaking her in.
Yeah, these people don't care just to give her that check mark in the history books. It is a stupid thing. If I was her, I would tell them don't do it. But he just might not wake up one morning.
So she
would totally do it.
Like basically like not transferring over the power piece.
No, transferring, but just giving it to her technically in a few weeks, so that she's president. So there's been people floating that. There's been people saying that Biden should do that so that she technically becomes the first female, black/Indian president of America, whatever nonsense. And I think whoever that's going to be, like, listen, I don't care how it gets sliced and diced. I really don't care, to me personally, what the race is. But I think the person who does that, so let's say we're talking about when in history America gets its first female president, that just needs to be fair.
Yeah.
That person needs to have fought for it and won it on their own, just like Trump kicked ass. Yeah. Whether you like it or not, and won this shit.
Yeah. And honestly, the race thing, it doesn't matter at all, but don't pander and don't fake. Like, don't be inauthentic, right? Like, I could just like picture like, we're now welcoming the first black president, black female president ever. Like, let's hear a word from her black father. Oh my God, Dutch, thank you so much. I'm so excited for my little daughter.
Yeah. I personally don't think we had an authentic black American president yet.
Obama
in my mind.
Wasn't at all.
I don't think we really had that. We didn't have Jesse Jackson, and I'm not saying I'm down with Jesse Jackson or whatever. We didn't have like I consider myself black, right? I'm a black man, and I'm an American also, and proud to be that. But you're talking. I'm from the Caribbean, as I've said. Someone who is descendant of slaves here in America. Not that they were descendant of like slave owners like Obama was.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Both in Africa and here in America, like an actual American if you go back in the generation of their family, they came here from slavery. Most of that came from West Africa, you know, and they grew up here in the generations, and that person becomes president one day. That we have not actually seen that. We've seen some dude, you know, who is obviously mixed, and on both sides of his parentage, there was slave ownery going on.
Yeah.
That was president. That's what we saw.
It's interesting. I've actually heard a story. I've not looked into it at all, so this could be absolutely absurd to say. But I had heard there was an undocumented president prior to George Washington, and he was a black man. I haven't looked into it at all.
Were you looking at a movie at this time?
Yeah, this sounds insane.
I swear.
Were you like tripping on ayahuasca? Or what was going?
I did. Okay, I know that sounds crazy, but the person that I heard it from is like a street historian. Okay, like I would never repeat something like that.
Is that like a street?
When you put street and historian together, is where you messed up.
No, I mean like you know, he's not exactly recognized by like Harvard and.
Okay, and who was this? Was this a 1%er standing on a street corner in New York City somewhere?
No. So I'll actually shout him out. So this guy who runs this channel, Red Dawn Readiness. He's a friend of mine. He is. He's just one of those guys that like when you first meet him, he doesn't like hit you as like wow, this guy is like remarkably intelligent. Like
you're not selling this man.
I know, but hold on.
When you meet him, you think he's fucking retarded, and then you talk to him.
No, like he'll just out of nowhere just like drop like scripture or like history or just like
you're saying he's basically like Mike Tyson.
Kind of.
Yeah, Mike Tyson is a philosopher, man. He thinks very deeply. I'm not even messing around.
No, you're right. It's just funny because like you don't think of that when you think of him, which is kind of the thing, right? Did you see him getting interviewed by that girl? And she was like, you know, are you happy with your performance of the fight? And he was like, let me explain something, dude. You got to see if we can pull it up on this. That would be excellent.
Is this a little girl?
It's a little girl. She's like 9 years old, okay? And he tells this girl that he is nothing. Physically, he is nothing. None of this exists. This is all a waste.
Oh, we're in the Matrix.
Back to ashes. Like, and she's just like holding a mic like,
what is going on?
I've never been introduced to this theory before. Dude, it is absolutely... And she carried herself well.
I think I've seen this. I haven't looked at it, but I've seen it show up on what do you call it? On YouTube,
like on your feed or something.
Yeah, in my feed, but I've never actually watched it. So I guess I'll have to go back and watch it now. So you're talking about this?
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go find this.
Mike Tyson forgot he was talking to a kid with this question. Okay, yeah. So we'll have to go back. We can't show too much of it, you know how all that goes over here on the YouTubes. Yeah. But yeah, Mike Tyson is a very deep thinker. So you're saying you know a deep thinker like this, and he told you that America. It sounds like a great story. I would love to read this alternate history.
Yeah, I usually wouldn't give anything that anyone says like that without me doing
you did some research
on it credence. Yeah, but in this case, the person that it came from is someone that I trust. And if people out there, if you're into prepping, firearms, freedom, liberty, independence, that kind of thing, there's a great YouTube channel, Red Dawn Readiness, and he does 2 live shows a week. He's a really good guy. He's a friend of mine.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. Yeah. This sounds like when I was trying to tell everyone, I think Lola made a clip somewhere, when I was trying to tell everyone that a black woman wrote The Matrix and The Terminator, and then the story got stolen from her. And I saw recently someone put, this is bullshit on the thing. Yeah, but if you look it up, it's actually, there was a black female writer that wrote these stories, and people in Hollywood steal shit all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And if you look go ahead.
I was just going to say, most of the shit's either ghostwritten or stolen.
Yeah, like, this all went to court and everything. It's all documented, but they wound up winning because the way Hollywood or any of these big companies get you is they run out the time with the lawyers.
Infinite amounts of money.
Yeah.
It's almost like Palmetto State Armory.
Do they sue people?
Listen, there is a power of litigation. Is there a litigation thing going on I don't know about?
Let's just say, oh God, what have I done?
No, there's no. Let's just say now.
I don't care. It's all good. I mean, we're cool with the PSA folks up till now, but it's all we can talk about whatever, man. You know how it goes.
There was a particular magazine that was introduced for a particular frame. And it blew up the world for this platform, and I'm not going to say anything else regarding that. However, later on down the line, you guys will know what I'm talking about. PSA came out with their own variation.
Is this a Scorpion mag?
It is not. It is a Glock platform.
Okay.
Is Salient extended bigger mags?
It turned the 43X from a 10+1 to a 15+1.
Okay.
I think it was Salient Arms or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
something like that. Yeah, and
there's a lot. The magazine wars go across the board. But
so who sued who?
Yeah. So basically, intellectual property was stolen, and they said, "Hey, please don't do that." And PSA said, watch me, bro. And not only are we going to continue doing this, but we're also going to drain you of all resources. And then when you're completely drained of resources from litigation, when you think it's all over, you're going to pull the shotgun barrel out of your mouth when we throw you a life vest and a life raft with a big check in it. Life preserver, with a big check in it, and then it'd be like, oh my god, thank God for PSA, right? But that's not it's not mutually exclusive with them. It is like my phone's vibrating a lot now. Hopefully it's unrelated. But it's not mutually exclusive to that one situation. They've done that with a lot of companies.
J&J I think this is common. Yeah, this is a common thing. Yeah.
It is mafia tactics in commerce, and I think nothing specifically against them, but I think a lot of people wouldn't spend money with PSA if they knew truly how they were in business, and most companies for that matter. Yeah,
I would say this. I don't know what's going on with that particular story, but I would say don't hate the player, hate the game. And I think, yes, this is a game how the game is played with lots of companies, not just in the firearms world, but in all of business. I just found out, I'm into watches, and I just found out that you cannot, why is Flying Rich is coming in? I just found out that you cannot use the word NATO strap if you are selling NATO strap. There is a company
owns NATO straps, but it's NATO. It's in the North American Treaty.
There's a company that owns it. Hold on.
That's retarded. That's so stupid.
Yeah, hold on, Rich. Let me see if I can throw this up here on the screen first, real quick. Yeah, here we go. So trademark wrangle over NATO straps. So there is a company here, called International Watchman Inc. They own the rights to it, and they've sued people. So it says, do you wear a genuine NATO strap? Probably not, according to this trademark. And some retailers aren't happy. What's in the name? Potentially a lot of cash, marketing, leverage, and credibility when it comes to the world of trademarks. And this article goes on to talk about this whole NATO strap thing. And there's actually there's some YouTubers out there and other people who were selling NATO straps, and they lost a lot of money. They got sued, had to settle and pay up a lot of money for that same thing. So it kind of goes on. And if I was a bigger company, I may use some of those tactics myself. And I know we all argue about this, just like we were talking about healthcare. Like, is it right that these healthcare folks, companies, are doing what they're doing? And it's the same thing when it comes to copyright and trademark. Unless you're the person whose trademark is being violated, there's folks out there who always like to do it. But yes, if you don't have enough money, you can be the person whose trademark is being violated, and the people we're going to sue you into oblivion anyway. We're going to keep getting lawyers. So
Dude, I know you're bringing a rich in, but I've worked in an industry where those practices are used.
Me too.
Constantly, and I did things that, like, at the time I was just like, well, we just have to win. Like, that's it. We just have to win. And like multi-million-dollar companies, and it was like I didn't know I was doing terrible things, and basically forcing people out of business until later on. Then I finally realized it and stopped. Stopped working in that line of work.
It sucks, man. If you're the person who's getting crushed by that, look, for example, this happened with Tesla, right? When Tesla was about to go out of business, they made a deal with Musk where if he hit all these performance goals, they would have given him a certain amount of stock. I think right now it's probably worth over $50 billion. And the goals were impossible. So the board was like, hey, cool. Because if he didn't hit it, he wouldn't get the money. But he hit all of those goals, right? So a guy who owns 9 shares of Tesla stock got lawyers, sued, and in Delaware, the judge gave it to the guy because it's an activist judge. So therefore, Musk cannot get this stock. I think they just appealed it, and the judge said no again. So I'm guessing that has to go to the Supreme Court or something to really get settled. But yeah, they're basically denying him $50 billion when he gave up everything to build the company. So a lot of stuff like this goes on. In his case, he's a multi-billionaire, so he can keep paying lawyers. But this type of shit goes on all the time.
It does.
Yeah. Let's see. We got Rich joining us here in the dark.
Rich, I didn't even know you were invited. What are you doing here?
I just crashed the party, like I always do.
Yeah, he just decided to show up, so there you go. Isn't he the other half of No, Walt's got some. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of manufacturers like Safety Harbor Firearms. SHF is a quintessential family-owned small business, totally representative of the American dream. Safety Harbor Firearms is a Florida-based manufacturer of the compact entry stock and the SHTF 50 upper for an AR-15 lower. Also, SHF happily delivers on your Sten gun parts needs. So don't forget to check out stenparts.com and safetyharborfirearms.com. Okay, cool. Let me go back here to the split. There we go. Boom.
I heard you need an old white guy from Florida.
What? What did you say?
I heard you need an old white guy from Florida to help you out on the show tonight.
Oh, yeah, there was too many young white guys up in here with dark and baby face.
Yes, yeah.
So, yeah, we got to balance it off, with the old Florida white guy.
So, were pimp definition knives enough?
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
I promise we're working on it. No, we're working on it. Yeah. Here's mine. What I did want to talk about, let me see if I can bring this up somehow. I don't know how the hell do I open. I'm trying to see if I could show. I'm trying to show how I could show this off, but there's one more piece of news I want to get to. Let's just do that real quick, and then there we go. Let me do this. Hold on one second. So this is something we need to talk about right here. Okay. So this is in Semaphore. Blake Masters, who I never heard of. I don't know if you guys heard of this guy. Under consideration to become Trump's top gun regulator. The Scoop, Blake Masters under consideration to head up the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives of President-elect Donald Trump. Masters met with the incoming president's transition team on Thursday and is interested in helming the regulatory agency. Two people familiar with the situation told Semaphore. He lost 2 races for Congress in Arizona this past fall and in 2022 while running as a Trump loyalist. Masters was previously vying to lead the presidential personnel office. So, I don't know if you guys have heard any of this or know who this dude is.
So I did hear.
I don't think we can say what we heard.
Go ahead,
okay.
Rich.
I don't believe it's going to be him.
Dark Knight, I can't say what we heard.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it'll be him.
So that's pretty much saying you heard otherwise, but okay. Yeah.
If I had to guess, it's not going to be him.
Okay.
Based
on our excellent sources.
Yeah, I have no idea what Rich is talking about, but I don't have any recollection of who this Blake Masters is. But I heard there's a journalist out there that has some different information.
Okay. All kinds of subliminal things will be thrown around. Yeah, so listen, I never heard of this guy. He seems like some guy who has a lot of money and is now deciding he's going to run for office. So that's pretty much what I know. When I looked him up, I saw a lot of pictures of him shooting guns. And he's from Colorado, so who knows? Listen, we're just not going to get Brandon Herrera, which,
it's not happening.
I would like to see Brandon somehow sneak in there. We might not know. Right now, they might be negotiating with Brandon. You never know.
Okay.
You don't know, babyface. You don't know.
I do just want to add really quickly, Rich, are you referring to the message, it is a hoax? Because that was about something completely different, Rich.
Oh,
okay.
Oh. Yeah. So, okay, sorry. So
I mean, ultimately, this. So, regardless of who knows what and who's gotten up to whatever shenanigans and all that kind of stuff that's happened, at the end of the day, it comes down to Trump. So, and he could put whoever he wants to in there. This guy has money, and I think he's connected to Peter Thiel, who has money. Thiel? Is it Thiel or Thiel? Teal. Okay. Yeah. So, and who knows what could happen there.
I would love to be considered for this role. It would be a very short time because immediately I would fire every single human being in that building, including myself. I think the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives should go back to being a small little, branch within the Treasury Department and not their own, pseudo lawmaking, pretend law enforcement agency.
That's every gun guy's dream.
Why can't I remember the guy's name? They wanted him for AG. What's his name?
Getz? Gates?
Getz.
Yeah.
Gates. Gates.
Mm-hmm.
Gates said, and I love this quote, he didn't originate it, that the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms should be a Florida convenience store.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah. I wonder if we could get... listen, I want Brandon Herrera to get this. I know, that's a long shot. That's a long shot. I know. It's a long shot. But Gates might be a good person. Well, no matter what Gates does, they're gonna bomb him. Yeah. If he has to go through confirmation, so...
I don't care. So there's a couple of ways you can get appointed. You can be like an interim appointee. You can be a recess appointee. Or you could go through the regular appointment process. I don't freaking care. I want scorched damn earth. They tried to put this guy in jail and make him bankrupt for the rest of his life. I want him to go freaking Godzilla King Kong over all this ish.
I mean, I would like to at least see whoever gets this ATF job stop the bullshit and reverse a lot of bullshit that we've seen over the last maybe 10 years. I'd take that, but yes, I would love to see a lot, like, all of these things go backwards. I don't think realistically we're going to get rid of the ATF.
Wait, do I have to be nice to the ATF because I just
no
tax stamp? No, ATF's great. Love the ATF.
No, you don't. No, you don't have to be nice. You don't have to be nice at all. Yeah, no. I'm just, in the realm of realism. If we can't get Brandon Herrera, I hope we get someone that at least stops and reverses the shit.
Yeah, someone that at least is against future encroachments, if not, also
needs to go back. We need to go back.
I agree. Yeah. Totally agree.
Yeah,
but
they need to just be like doing, going after people who are blatantly violating laws and stuff like that's what they need to get up to.
Can we get Richard Hoffman for director of the ATF?
in posterity. He would do as good of a job as any. Because
I'm trying to. Is this some other Richard Hoffman?
He would just roll up in there with his belt thing.
Yeah. So a zombie. That's what you want. Yeah. There you go. All right. Like that's fair. I'll take seeing him back even as a zombie.
Yeah, I would take it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
No, I agree. Obviously, I would love to see. You know what? At least, so I have what I would prefer to occur, and then I have what I'd be willing to, compromise down to. Part of that would include the additional 90 days of amnesty to register machine guns pre-May of 1986 that we're owed. The general public is owed at least that. We should all be able to register machine guns for another 90 days that they didn't give that to us. So that's what we're due.
Yeah, maybe suppressors come off the...
I don't know what I would register. I'd register an MP5.
You make a bunch of shit. You register everything.
I'd register some AR lowers.
Yeah.
You register everything, Patrick. You know it. If that ever happened, that's like jumping in a time machine. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I always say I was born in the wrong era. But I will say this for anyone out there that's an AR guy, Geisley Super Duties are literally SOT ready for those of you out there that can lawfully do stuff. And there's a bunch of other ones too. But Geisley Super Duties are SOT friendly.
They're import cut lowers.
Yeah. If you have the jig
wait a second, Patrick. You are newly minted SOT. What was the first thing you went multi-pew with?
M16.
No, I thought it was something older.
I think I did the MP5 first because I had... I don't remember if it was... No, the first one I did was an M16 lower, but it was for a 9mm because I already had the parts kit. Then I, at the same time, did both the MP5 and the M4. And now I have a Sten gun. Oh, and an M2 carbine.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought you did some old... Was this for you personally or for someone else that you did? Didn't you do a...
I've helped
like
make stuff before for folks.
Okay. Right.
They were already papered. I just did the work to help them finalize the task. As a gunsmith, I can legally do that because they papered it.
Yeah, we're showing off guns here. Hold on. Let me go full...
Oh, we can show off guns. Oh,
full screen. Yes, we can show off guns. Hold on. I got to get rid of Patrick. What's going on? I don't know how I'm... Come on. Bam. Okay, cool. Put this up here, and then we'll go to dark.
Yeah, sorry. I never want to be a big burden, but, I just wanted to show this.
No. Oh, that's awesome.
And I would actually love to have... So I'd probably do my MP5, but the CZ Scorpion is a great platform. And also, shout out to a channel sponsor. If you're into things that go burp and don't like buying $40,000 firearms, something like the binary trigger or binary option
Franklin
trigger from Franklin Armory or Franklin Armory. Franklin Armory, yeah. Franklin is excellent, and this thing purrs like a kitten. I can empty a 35 round mag in like 2.9 seconds.
I'd like to try one of the full auto.
I
have a Colt SMG and I have a MP5, and I can tell you the roller delay blowback outpaces the Colt SMG all day, every day. So I'm wondering how the blowback is on one of those compared to MP5.
It's insane. It is a massive bolt that, like, it's so over-engineered. Even with the binary triggers, I have a binary trigger in the Scorpion, and then I have a binary trigger in the MP5, and the MP5 it just runs. This thing feels like a micro sledgehammer is like...
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. I don't know that I would want a full auto one of those. It's just... It doesn't seem too fun. It doesn't seem all that fun.
You need to get a Vector, man. You need to do a Vector.
I would do it. The problem with doing all of this is I have to make the gun, and then it's forever a machine gun.
Yeah.
And I'm invested $2,000 into a machine gun that just never gets shot. I've kind of gone for low hanging fruit as much as possible because it's cheap.
Right. Okay, if you see a cheap vector, buy it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I've not done anything like that. I would love to do a Steyr AUG, but it's the same thing.
I wonder if do you guys? I know I was going to ask you guys who you think. Like, okay, I'm obviously, and I think a lot of people will be fine if Brandon Herrera. But let's say reasonable. Do you think there's anyone else out there that you could think of that would be a great ATF?
Clarence Thomas.
What?
Clarence Thomas would have us back in gun laws before 1934.
Yeah, is he planning on not being on the Supreme Court?
No, he's too valuable where he is.
Right. Yeah.
He's too valuable where he is. However, he is not growing younger, and he is a seasoned older gentleman.
Yeah.
And I think we may end up seeing him get replaced soon.
Under Trump. Yeah. No! Probably.
I could see it.
Probably.
He's got to live forever.
I wish.
And then and then also, do you guys think that under Trump we're gonna get the Trump slump again, where guns will go? I think we're probably already in that. But
I figured this Black Friday would be crazy, and it wasn't.
I think guns are gonna stop selling. People aren't gonna be buying guns left and right. I think ammo and accessories and things like that are gonna be more purchased than firearms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of things have stopped selling. I mean, people just don't have as much disposable income right now. So
I think we'll probably end up in a little bit of a lesser Trump slump, but I do think that because the economy is likely going to become slightly repaired over the next 4 years, I do think that we'll start to see a little bit of a healthier market. Mm-hmm. But I also think that if things happen in our favor, as far as like firearms regulations, deregulation to be more specific, I do think that would definitely, throw a little bit more, more coals in the fire of the firearm industry. But it's unfortunately the truth that when somebody that isn't attacking our freedoms, we don't have that fear of we're never going to be able to get this again, which makes us go do ridiculous purchases. So I just think, I don't know, for me, I'm almost always purchasing stuff constantly. Mm-hmm. I don't ever not purchase anything, but
yeah, but as for me, I've noticed as I've been longer in the game, I'm going for older things. I think the industry itself needs to figure out exactly where the younger kids coming into the game are going, and it's one of those things. And then also, everyone can't make an AR, right? Like everyone can't do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And you do need to cater, so maybe some of the more boutique builders will do better. We'll see. I do want to touch. We've got maybe 4.5 minutes here. I do want to touch on the knives, so I'm going to show what I've got right here on my table. I'm going to go to the. So tell us about Definition Knives. Who is Definition Knives, and what is the mission? Before I open this box.
Yeah. So Rich, you want me to jump in here?
Yeah, take it, Dark.
So Definition Knives started in a funny way. It started because we were looking around for some specific knives. I at the time was looking for a couple Benchmades, and as I was looking through, I was finding these knives that were $259, $319, and I'm just looking at the quality and the steel, and I'm just like, man, this is absurd. And then one knife that I really, really wanted from Benchmade specifically, and I'll explain why I'm using them as an example. It was discontinued, so they ended up costing like $750, $1,000, because Benchmade stopped making them. So it got pretty ridiculous. So I was like, I'm going to track down a manufacturer in the great state of China, and I'm going to find someone that'll do like a small batch of knives just for like me, Rich, and the homies. And then we ended up doing. And you're welcome if you want to pull up definitionknives.com. You're welcome to as well.
I'll go to the.
You don't have to. I'm just.
No, I'll pull it up. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So I don't need to get in all the detail, but through ridiculous amounts of just laborious craziness, a crazy amount of time. Ended up identifying a particular manufacturer in the great state of China that we ended up getting some samples from. And when we got them in our hands, it was like, whoa, like we were so impressed with the quality, the craftsmanship, I know you guys said you like the Birdshot and the Journalist, which are great knives, but I want to make sure you guys get your hands on the other ones too that are a little higher quality, better steel, different steel, or not necessarily better, but different steel. But as we're doing these dealings and getting the samples in, we're like, hey, what if we did 50 knives? What if we did, 100 knives? What if we did?
When you say we, who are you referring to?
Rich and I, Flying Rich, the other guy on the.
So you guys are the guys behind this, and
yes,
you got into it, and you just decided to go batshit crazy.
Yeah, basically. We were like, at first, let's do a small run of knives, just for the homies, and then it was like, dude, we could make a business out of this and actually take something that, normally, companies like Benchmade at the time that uses the rollerball lock, crossbar, axis, they call it. Take knives like this and they sell them for $200-300 or more and make them more easily accessible, more
yeah. So I'm gonna go to the you gotta, okay, I am over 18. There you go.
Yeah, unfortunately they make you do that, but just make them more available to the general public.
Okay, so that Copilot you were showing $70.
Yep. Yep, and they're all between $59 and $79.
Okay.
And there's a rumor that some of the biggest knife companies in the United States may be getting their materials from the same factory we're using.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
So it's just, taking something and kind of, we talked about PSA earlier. I didn't speak very highly of them, but it's essentially the same concept as PSA. Make something more easily accessible that is usually cost prohibitive, and just open up the door for more people to get good quality knives at a very affordable price.
Okay. All right.
And the name Definition Knives, it's interesting because if you just type in Definition Knives to Google, it's like, this is the definition of a knife. It's not the easiest thing to just track down. Of course, you could just go.
The Who Moved My Freedom podcast is made possible by our partners at 2A Commerce. Veteran-owned and with over 20 years experience, 2A Commerce is the leader in custom e-commerce and web application development in the shooting sports industry. Clients include major brands such as Guard Dog Body Armor, Sylvan Arms, AccuFire Technologies, The Tactical Games, Warrior Knife Company, and yours truly, Hank Strange. Visit 2A Commerce and support this show by supporting them. Once again, visit the number 2acommerce.com.
Okay, hold on. Let's go from this. Boom. There we go. All right. Yeah, you were saying, sorry you got cut off. I ignored that. Yeah, I'm hearing some feedback, but I don't know if that's from Babyface.
Rich,
or is that Rich? Could be Rich,
audio.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, we took something that's normally, way more expensive and made it more affordable. And although these, the first 5, it's launch 1. We're going to be doing several launches. All will be different. This one is that style with the crossbar safety, with a roller lock, and we wanted to put a little bit more so these are samples. They're not, they don't have our branding on it, but these were the first ones. But just the blade, how smooth it is, instead of just doing a bolster and screw like some of the $30 knives we see. These are actually copper discs with steel ball bearings, and much better steel for the frame, nicer G10. It just kind of kind of trying to step it up a notch. And I will also say on record that this is 3.3 millimeters, which is twice the thickness of the Benchmade. But anyway, it was one of those things that came from like getting fed up with the industry and the pricing and saying, all right, let's do this. How can we do this? Not to say Benchmades aren't good knives. They're just anti-2A and have a side hustle of cutting up guns for the ATF and have contributed to anti-freedom movements in the past.
Yeah. Well, how big is I don't know if Patrick has any questions, but how big is the markup typically in the knife business? So I know like in the watch business, for example, the markup is like, 20, 30. Yeah. Times whatever cost is. What is it in the knife thing? Is it like same thing, 10, 20, 30 times cost?
No, it's usually markup is like profitability is around 50% for what we're doing. But if you look at like, let's say the style of knives that we're doing, if we were to just change the blade steel from 8CR13 MOV or D2 and do SW30 or 154 CM or CPM crew wear like Benchmade is doing, it would slightly increase our costs, but they're charging $200 to $300, or so. I mean, the markup there is insanity. We're talking 20 or 30 times in that case.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah. For us, it's nowhere near that though. We could charge more, but we're trying to keep the cost that every single knife that we launch is going to be under $100, excluding like one, maybe two a year that we do that are just going to be like a huge deal. We're going to do a run of 500. They're all going to be serialized. They're going to have a serialized challenge coin to match them. And once they're sold out, they'll never be produced again. Like we're calling them definition drops. We'll do them once, maybe twice a year.
Okay. All right. Let me see. So, Rich, did you want to add anything or?
Yeah, no, Dark covered it all real good. It's been a lot of fun. It's pretty exciting. It was fun talking with Patrick yesterday. Patrick's like, I know what I want. I want to do this. I'm like, talk to Dark. He's the knife. He knows everything about knives. You guys are going to nerd out on that stuff, and we'll get a knife in one of the next drops.
Yeah, and actually, to add to that really quickly, one of the things that we wanted to do was use it as an opportunity to honor people in the community. Oh, Chromie V.
Yeah.
To honor people in the community that are doing good things, mostly in the gun world, right? That are doing good, positive things, and they're moving the ball down the field toward freedom, independence, and liberty. So we took like the journalist to pay homage to John
Crumpy,
the first shot to pay homage to the tactical turkeys. The co-pilot was to pay homage to Flying Rich. The DK1.
Oh, you should have called it the Crash, man. Seriously.
Oh, man,
come on.
I should have.
Well, you could still do the Crash. We
can, and we're going to continue. Like a lot of people I've talked to that are like, dude, how come I don't have a knife named after me? It's like, you're on the list. The homies are on the list. It's just like, dude, I wish we could have put out 500 knives but we have to scale it in a way that we can afford to stay in business, but also make sure that the world is getting proliferated with the content, seeing reviews, people using the knives, and it's growing a lot. Like the security guards at my church all carry definition knives. The dudes at the gun stores locally to me carry definition knives. We all carry definition knives. And it's just kind of cool. So it's going to take a little bit to get out there, and it will. But also, just like the name, right? Definition knives. There's more to the name that we'll talk about another time. But like the definition of something is like, it's truth. It is authenticity. It is, there's no arguing with it. It is absolution. It is, what's another way to say it, Rich? It's
definitive to be, no pun intended.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I love the logo.
It's a great name.
The kanji guy on the logo is the best.
Yep. Shout out to Frag Out Design Studios. The guy is a mad scientist with his laboratory.
Mm-hmm. So is that what that logo is that we're seeing there?
Yeah.
Well, it's the DK, but it's also the kanji guy.
What's a kanji guy?
Yeah, you're going to have to explain that a little bit.
Well, like kanji looks like,
What is kanji?
Oh, so it looks like what is that, Japanese character? Oh, yeah. Okay, I see. It looks like a man, yeah.
Yeah, so it's I call him the stick man. He calls him the kanji guy. Kanji is the alphabet for Korean.
Okay.
It may be Korean and Japanese. I'm not sure, but
yeah. No, that's cool. You guys need to do some hats, some T-shirts, some.
Yeah.
We got merch.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
The merch is on dldhardware.com because that's my other website. But we wanted to do something kind of cool and funky, and we had Frag Out Firearms, who's a good friend of ours, good friend of the channel. He said that he wanted to help, and my goodness, did he? As he's designing the logo, we told him roughly what we wanted. He took DK sideways and rotated it like this, and almost like how when you're watching football and there's like the little whiteboard marks. He's live recording, streaming his designing of this, and he posted on his YouTube channel. You can actually see him turn it and be like, this looks like a little man, and he writes it out, and he's like DK man and all that. That's where the stick man.
Oh, cool. Very cool. When are you guys gonna get with the I could say, when are you gonna sponsor the podcast or something, but we're friends. I wouldn't do that to you, but when are you gonna do an affiliate program, something like that? I don't know if you have that going yet.
Yeah, and not yet. We definitely will get something going. We wanted to start we had a budget for the first initial order of how many knives we can send out, and then we didn't realize how quickly we would squeeze that budget. And then it was shucks. So we literally have a list of the homies of people that we're going to send knives to. Okay. Because we kind of started with let's send out knives and ask people to post their thoughts.
Somebody doesn't want to take a bath. That's what that noise is, in case you're
wondering. I missed that noise.
Yeah.
No, but it's something we're definitely going to do in the future.
Okay.
Right now we're just kind of trading products for content at this point, and
that's totally cool, man. The beautiful thing about our network circle that we have going is a lot of different people in there, and I think that's a good way to get this off the ground and get the SEO and all that kind of stuff going. So I think you guys, until you get actual customers out there buying stuff, I went through this when I was doing music. We would make an album, a whole bunch of people involved in that album. No one wanted to buy it. Everyone wanted it for free. So my job, I had to go out there and sell that thing, since I produced it, to people who had no clue, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And get someone to actually buy it. So that's a really important part. I'm going to ask Patrick, because I know yesterday he had, I think, some good comments. This is kind of his thing, one of his things, I would say. Patrick is knives. So Patrick, thoughts?
Dark and I've already talked a little bit about, I have a knife that I want produced because I have a very particular taste in blades, and So the BFP,
is that where we're doing? Is a BFP coming out?
I already have more ideas than that, but this thing in general, let me
see if I can go. Hold on, let me see. I'm going to go full screen on you. So we got to put this and then switch over to you. Go for it. You can keep talking.
Oh, I haven't beat it up yet, but I did take it to the stone and I sharpen it to my liking. I put a more aggressive bevel on the blade itself.
Ooh, that looks good.
Yeah,
that's the beauty. That's what I like about this knife. You guys did not make this blade complicated, therefore, we can't.
Yeah,
sharpen it ourselves.
It's enough to you can't see, but I have a bald spot on my arm now. It's enough to shave my arm. I've used it today to open boxes. I've gotten used to. I carry autos pretty much all the time now, but I've gotten used to it. It is a good flick to get it open, and it is
it's got good spring action.
When you get it to click correctly, it is very, very satisfying.
Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, you get a nice click out of it. But yeah, so far it's very good. It's what I like in this type of knife. It's thick on the back end. Hold on. Thick enough on the back end where you could baton it and beat the crap out of it if you need to.
Can you pry something open?
It's full flat ground, which is what I prefer on a blade. I like them to just grind all the way down. G10 scales are really nice because they're super, super durable, and you're not going to scratch them. And even if you do, who cares? It's a type of plastic. I carry Microtex, and they're aluminum, and I scratch them, and then you feel bad for a while. The pocket clip. I figured today that the pocket clip is actually super nice. When you say deep carry, it is super deep carry. It barely sticks out of your pocket, which is really nice. You're not going to snag it.
I'm glad you noticed that.
What was that?
I'm glad you noticed that. That's a lot of thought went into the location of the pocket clip and style. Yeah,
it is very.
I think this is very well put together. I mean, without a doubt.
I am not. So this is a useless feature for me. I know there are some people that will like it. Lanyard loops, totally useless. I hate lanyards on knives. I also go in between liking pocket clips and taking them off and just throwing them in my pocket. But I normally end up going back to the pocket clip because digging through your pocket for a knife is a pain in the butt. But I've gotten in 24 hours, I've gotten pretty good at getting it open one-handed. I'm curious how long this steel will hold its edge. That's one thing that I'm going to kind of figure out as I go. But it sharpens easy enough where it's not it's not hard to bring it back on a wet, because I use a whetstone to sharpen my knives. It wasn't difficult to bring the edge really nice.
Yeah, that steel is really great for sharpening, and that's kind of one of the reasons we wanted to do for this launch with these 5 knives. We were like, let's do some of them in D2 steel and then some of them in the 8CR13 MOV, and it's a great knife for, like, it's a great steel for someone that wants to reprofile, change the, sharpen it. The D2 models are it's obviously harder steel, that's so. I do love the location of that, and we also.
I think that was a good idea. Is that a security bit, like just a regular? Bit. Yeah, just a regular hex bit. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And
cool.
Every single model does have a hole for a lanyard loop. Some people, the craziest things is like we, I guess inventoried around. Like we asked a bunch of people, like, hey, what's? Oh, you know what? That's the Boyd. You have the Boyd, not the.
So is my box mislabeled?
I guess you got Walter's box and Walter got.
So you actually have.
Okay. Is that what's going on? Okay.
One. So you have the $79 D2 steel Boyd. That was the one that I named after my father.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I got this by default, and Babyface.
Well,
he was at first going to take it from me, but it wasn't smaller, so I got lucky. I didn't get mugged.
Hank was like, "Oh, it's smaller," and I was like, "Ooh, I like smaller knives." I prefer, looking at his now, I prefer a full flat ground blade. That one I can see has multiple bevels to it. That is not my taste. This is 100% my taste.
This is nice. This is nice. So Walter's one is a lot bigger. I take it.
Walter's is the same as mine.
Oh, it's the same as yours. Okay. Yeah. I think very nicely done, guys, especially for a first run at it. I could tell that you guys are knife guys. Yeah. I don't know who did most of this. Rich, is it like a collaborative effort with you and Dark, or is it mostly Dark?
It is collaborative.
Dark is a quantum leap ahead of me as far as knife geekery. A lot of the packaging was, I don't want to say it was my idea, but my inspiration was a lot of the packaging.
I like that you did that in the foam. That's cool.
Yeah. That was, it's something so simple, but like that, Rich really did, because I was just like, get him out. And Rich was the one that was like, hey, hold on, like let's definitely like bring it up a notch with like presentation and like what it feels like and looks like, and what they smell like when you get them. And I know that's seems like a strange thing. There's a slight smell. It's
is it an oil? Is it like a gun oil?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
It's Aegis gun lube.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. So hold on a second. This is Ode to Joe in here.
Yes, that's right.
Oh no, Joe juice! And you made us sniff it, you bastards.
No, I got to say what I'm excited about is I open pool chemicals with my knife.
I'm gonna
acid, chlorine, all that, and the knives I've been carrying, which are decent knives, they rust. They all. This knife has not done any of that, so I'm.
What blade steel is on that one?
Yeah, show it again, Rich. Sorry, I just switched to you.
That's D2.
Yeah.
That's D2. Yeah. So that's
Crumpy was calling
steel, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a polished D2.
Yeah, this is the D2. So
yeah,
it just, I'm so excited about that. It's so funny the process going through. It's like, hey, these guys in China could just take our money, and we got the samples. It's like, okay, fine, we're in a couple $100 for samples, and I'm like, wow, these are good. We like them. They went through our QC process. And then it's like writing the check for, a chunk of change. And you're worried you're going to get a box of rocks. You're worried is it going to get through customs? Or if we actually
this is not an easy thing to do.
Order, is it the bait and switch? Are we now going to get like something that looks like what we ordered, but it's going to suck?
Yeah. Or
it's like, wow, this is good.
Yeah, or I think probably a big, you guys may not say it, but a big thing on your mind is like, are my friends going to think this is bullshit? And I'll tell you, I know for me, yesterday, when I saw it and held, I think me and Patrick had the reaction at the same time, like, oh, this is actually cool. So job well done. I'm proud of you guys, right? It could have gone the other way. And we would have still supported you, and then secretly in the background, laughed at you. But you did it. You did a good job. You did a good job, though.
I have. Well, it won't be perfect until my blade is made.
Of course, right?
I know exactly what I want. I just don't know if it's possible. But yeah, I know exactly what it's going to look like and everything. Whenever my turn comes up.
I may actually. So we have at this rate, we have about 36 blades that are already like in different stages of, which that number's crazy. But I know we're coming up on a break in 30 seconds. But we're working on a whole bunch of things. The next launch 2, is going to be like 7 to 9 knives that are almost all flippers and liner locks. Or flippers that are liner locks, because those are like what everyone has been asking for, and we need fixed blades too. So
flipper is as in backflip.
Yeah, you tap the back.
If I can't have an auto, then a flipper would probably be what I would choose.
Yeah.
Folks, let me tell you about U.S. Law Shield. If you're serious about your Second Amendment rights, then you need to get serious about protecting yourself legally. Use promo code HANK for 2 free months on an annual membership, plus a locked-in rate of just $10.95 per month. Remember, the fight for freedom doesn't end at the range. Arm yourself with U.S. Law Shield, and remember to use promo code HANK. No, I don't think anyone heard that. A big plug for Joe Juice, of course. Of course. We support Joe Juice. No Diddy.
I do want to just add really quickly, Hank. It means a lot that you would highlight our new venture like this, and we put a lot. Like, look, a lot of trust, a lot of time, energy, effort, money, and I thank Rich for just being awesome and just having blind faith and trust in maybe not totally blind, but a lot of trust in each other. And I'm super grateful for that, and for you guys, and for you, Hank, and just everyone that's kind of been around for this and just been, all for it. It's been, I'm just grateful and feel super blessed. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, man. And I think Rich probably knows this. Like, I live for this. This is, the reason why I'm doing this, and, like, as long as we can keep this funded, like doing this podcast, I'm willing to do it, is because I want to be able to help my friends. And I'm excited to see, me and Patrick talk about this, me and Walter, me and Rich. I want to see, everyone do something, and then we could all come to, because we kind of are, I don't know if people realize that or not, we're kind of like the nerd squad. We're not the big famous gun guys or anything like that, but we are kind of like a community inside of ourselves, and we help each other out. It's not just me. Crumpy does a lot of that. You do that. Dark. Rich does that a lot in the background. Walter, Patrick, like we all, Joe. There's a bunch of people even here that I'm leaving out of our network, and we all help each other out, like you were saying, folks coming and helping you with the design, etc. So I'm proud of you guys. I think this is really cool. I'm excited to see where it goes. Personally, I think I want a little stubby that has like an afro pick in it. I've been trying to get someone to do that.
Oh, that would be dope, dude, because I would love to have that for
that could be the strange, that could be the strange. I'll be all the way behind that,
and it's rather strange to have a small like pick on a knife. Are you saying?
I try to get Microtech to do it, but it never worked out because I'm not cool enough to really talk to the Microtech people.
Are you saying that you want the pick in place of the blade, or in addition to the blade?
I don't know. What do you guys think? I was thinking in place of the blade.
Like a double folder, it folds out the blade, and you fold the other way. It's the pick.
No, I would have been happy with just the pick, like just a pick in there, just a single. When it comes out, like in a little stubby, it's a pick. But either way, I don't know exactly what would work and be functional. So
I think there's a way to do a knife and have a functional blade and a folding pick, or because picks are actually great for beards too, and I've been learning this as I've been growing my beard out like crazy. I think there's actually a way to do it. Maybe we could talk offline, but yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Strange. And then we would name the BFP the bald face pussy. No, I'm kidding. It would be something that a gunsmith would love. I'll say that.
Yeah. No, I think this can go far. Just take your time, and we'll try to do as much as we can do here to help with that. I'm sure Walter has some ideas. You're gonna have to make some kind of butt scraper for Walter. So,
and we're looking at other, like, what else can we do in metal? Like, what other tools? I don't want to give anything away yet, but we're working on, what can we do with our partners in China? How can we make other cool things?
Okay, sweet. Yeah, that's awesome. First, what you got to do here is market this, get people to buy it, and then when you can get up to that level, maybe do some kind of affiliate thing that will help some like people to do, more prolonged promotion of what you're doing. And then we do need to get some torture tests in place. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We got to beat up some stuff. So what are you showing off here?
Something like a pry bar that actually has like a little like knuckle on it for things where you could do some work with that. And that's 100% non-reactive metal. This is titanium, so you could carry that through into non-permissive environments. Titanium knuckle duster. Keychain.
So I was thinking about some stuff. Like, for example, if you put a knife on that thing, you might not be able to take it on the plane. But it'll be nice to
depending on the material. Yeah.
If it looks like a comb, you might get away with it, and it can still be tactical. Those.
Ooh.
Yeah.
See, Hank, that's why we do this, because you could totally have like a very, very strong, sturdy metal comb or pick that you could use as a defensive tool, and then also like maybe other things in the future
could
come out.
Rich put his glasses. He put his glasses down there for a sec. Okay, cool. All right. Here, should I go full screen on you? But you don't actually want to show all this stuff.
No, it's I
want to make sure Dark wants to show more than we're ready to show all the time.
He's teasing. It's a little bit of teasing, but what we need to do is get people to actually buy these and get that off the ground. So probably we'll do some torture testing and stuff like that. I don't want to mess mine up, but if I have to, I will, I guess. You know,
dude. So that's another thing with Definition Knives, because we believe in like taking care of your consumers and your products. Mm-hmm. If let's say a knife from Definition Knives, if it is broken, if you're, let's be honest, doing something you probably shouldn't be doing with a folding knife, and it just snaps, the blade snaps, then we would send you a new one. Just hit us up. If law enforcement procures your knife, and you weren't committing felonies, we would replace it.
Not
if
the
you
TSA,
have to use it to defend yourself.
Not the TSA. Come on, Rich. Don't put that caveat.
That is the one.
Why not the TSA?
Because it's too easy to be stupid.
Yeah, it's too easy.
I've done
That's your fault.
You're right.
Yeah, even though I feel for Lola's Microtech, like
I get it. Yeah, that made me literally stop carrying Microtechs. I can tell you that right now.
I literally put this thing in my. I have a beautiful little knife thing that I put all my blades in, and I have not taken this $489 knife out in a very long time because I don't want to lose it.
Yeah. I not only that Microtech, there was a from what is his name, Doug Makeda. He gave me a knife and I lost it.
Oh.
Yeah. Dude. He gave me one of those fighting knives he has.
Karambit.
Yeah, Karambit. He gave it to me and I lost it. And I'm so mad. And I keep praying, like, one day I'm going to find this thing. It's somewhere here. I didn't lose it, like, traveling somewhere. Yeah. But I have not found it. And if I found I would celebrate so much.
Lost it in the house.
Yeah,
it's in the cottage.
Yeah, he gave it to me at a SHOT Show years ago. Yeah. So, are you guys going to be at SHOT Show, speaking of, next year?
That's the plan.
I'm planning on it.
Oh, okay. Okay, I probably will be there. My first time in a little bit.
Oh, long little bit. You mean I don't have to do the live remote for Hank Stream?
we may still try to do something, but I will. I'm planning right now on being there because there's like for some reason last year and this year there is a separation. I should have gone. I should have gone and I didn't. So this year I'm definitely gonna. Do my best to make it out to SHOT Show, so I should be out there hanging out because I don't know when the next time.
AVN is the same week.
Those are just fringe benefits of hanging out in the SHOT Show.
I've never taken advantage of the fact that they're almost like in the same exact time frame.
Yeah, it's expensive to go over there. If you go to the AVN thing, I haven't actually gone because it's expensive. I've been there sometimes and been like, oh, we should just go here just to see what this is like. And then you have to pay to go in there, which is fine. But every single, if you're walking around SHOT Show and you go into the different wings or whatever, in AVN, you have to pay for every single different room that you go into. Yeah.
All right. So
you can see those people at the ranges because they're at all the ranges during SHOT Show.
I would just try to sit outside and pick up as much of the riffraff as possible. Sorry, Rich. Go ahead.
Classic Firearms had a party, and the same wristband you had to get in the Classic Firearms party got you into the AVN party upstairs.
Okay, interesting. By the way, let's see, what is this? Walter is in the chat. He says, really like the OD green. And Able Defense Mike says, I really like D2 knives. There you go.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I have come full circle on the steels. I went hardcore into, oh my God, I have to have Bowler M320. I have to have 240p. I have to have LMAX. Mm-hmm. And then I started sharpening my own blades on a whetstone. And for the life of me, your normal everyday whetstone that you used to that I used to keep my regular kitchen knives, I keep them razor sharp because I cook every night. My my regular everyday whetstone, which keeps those things razor sharp, I can't. They don't touch the high end steels. The high end steels just laugh at them. And I finally got so frustrated that this is bringing me full circle where I'm like, I have to touch it up more often. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back to the thing. But I sharpen the kitchen knives twice a week. I'll sharpen my kitchen knives when I go to use them, and I'll run them across my stone, and then I'll lap them in, and I'll cut. And it's like, okay, so the steel's not the top of the line, super expensive steel, but it's always sharp because I'm always I can just touch it up real quick and then go back to what I'm doing. I've totally 100% come full circle on steels.
Because I think that's ultimately what's the most important, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I can.
Yeah, that was the plan.
I'm gonna have to sharpen it more often, and it might not stay as sharp as long. But goddamn, it's easy. I just go wick, and it's done. It's sharp. It's dropped. Whatever, you know.
That was literally exactly why we selected the D2 and the 8CR13 MOV, because D2, a lot of guys don't sharpen their knives, or God bless them, the guys that do sharpen their knives and don't know how to do it. Those exist where they sharpen their knives and they just turn it into a flat like training knife. But people like to have the option of a knife that is going to, let's say, be harder. So if it'd be more likely to chip or crack or break if it hit a very hard surface. But something like, let's say, if you took that journalist or the birdshot and cracked it into a
and this is this is the Boyd, right? Because Lola just came to look at it. What did you say it's called? The Boyd?
Yeah, that's the Boyd.
The Boyd. Almost like how what's his name, instead of Bird he says Boyd.
The Boyd shot. Oh, dude, I didn't think about that. That's funny.
Nice.
It's
okay.
like the,
Lola just came to look at it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. This is not what's on the box, Lola. It's the Boyd.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it was Rich switching the things. So it gives people options. They can choose to get a knife that's a little bit more of a mild steel, but it's still very capable, but it's not like a Magna Cut M390 or anything that is going to be impossible to resharpen. But like the D2 is great, but I, also would like to be able to reprofile a blade if I want to, or I'd like to be able to have, better, a better outcome on sharpening or reprofiling. So I may do an 8CR13 MOV, or in the future we're going to be doing like 154 CM. We're going to be doing even 440 carbon steels, what people call the gas station knife steel. It's still a decent steel if you want to reprofile or resharpen, but it's good to have options.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I don't know where it is. I have to look on my phone. But I was, I forgot what company that was that I saw. But I was at the Overland Expo a few months ago, and there was one of these knife companies we know. I don't think it's Boker, though. It might be one that we don't actually like. But when I was out there, I saw they had a cutlery set. And I thought, oh, that's a really good idea. If you like a knife company, and they actually make cutlery or even like cooking knives and things like that, that would be something that would be fun to buy and support that, right? So
I love that idea. I actually bought one of the cold steel, a bunch of the cold steel kitchen knives back in the day, and they were excellent. I loved them.
Yeah, I'm trying to see while we're here if I could find that.
It's funny because I always say it's EDC cutlery.
Yeah. Let
me see, who was this? Okay, no, it was Benchmade. Here, I'll show you guys though.
Well, and I don't want to totally deuce on them either, because they definitely have done good things. Some of the decisions that they've made, and I guess the way I look at it is like the way that they kind of treat the general public by what they charge them. It's in my opinion is offensive, but they're by far one of the most carried knives out there. And I would love to have a kitchen knife set like that. Like, that is tactical AF, dude. Imagine someone comes in your kitchen and they're like, damn.
Yeah, the guys were cool there. They actually recognized me from the gun world, which is interesting. And people have gifted me Benchmade. Like, one of my favorite knives to carry is a Benchmade that someone gifted to me. Yeah, it's weird, right? Like, I don't know how much we have to go through with certain things to let go of it, or how much penance people have to make. But yeah, they still have some cool ideas out there that,
yeah.
Feel free to go in that direction, man, because that'll be awesome if you guys are doing that.
I think that's a great idea. I would love to do something like that. And, the more you offer to consumers and the more you take care of them, the more they're going to patronize your company. Mm-hmm. And even though, I feel a certain way about some things Benchmade has done, one of my EDCs that's in my sack is a Benchmade dagger. It's every single day. I literally just took it out the other day. Just for reasons because I was going somewhere, but
do they know who signed your stack?
I don't know if they do. That's a good point. Do you guys know who signed my sack?
Which sack are we talking about here? I mean, are we talking nutular sacks?
Hold on, Rich? Did you just squeak?
I think he did.
Yeah. It's funny. We have video of it. I actually took the video of it. So we're at SHOT Show, and Dark, you're always so much better at telling stories. You want to tell the story?
Am I really? I don't know. I used to carry. Thank you, by the way, Rich. I used to carry a crossbody Voltec sack, and it's I call it a sack because calling it a bag or a merce is gay, but
you can't do okay. The sack is not gay whatsoever.
Yeah, right.
Sure,
but it's a joke on it.
Hold on, let me hold on. Here's what I want to do. I want to go full screen with you. Give me a sec here.
Yeah.
Let me switch over so we can actually see what we're talking about here. Go for it. You're full screen.
I gotta get the Jerry sack. Hold on, I'm
coming back. Boy,
Dark's got to get his sack.
I gotta get my sack. Sorry.
So he says, so you like sacks is basically what you're saying. You're a sack guy.
I have sacks every chance I can. I would have sacks with anyone. I'm just kidding. Sorry. So I used to carry this sack crossbody, and it would be like all my EDC stuff inside of it. But if you needed to, you could have like rapid access to a gun. Right now, this is just all medical stuff because I switched out to a different EDC sack that is intended for firearm carry. But I was walking around with this bag, and we come across the one and only machine gun trigger finger Jerry
Miculek.
Jerry M. And I was like, I didn't even tell Rich anything. I was holding my sack, and I handed him my phone. I was like, Rich, record this video, right? I gave it to him, and I walked up. He was doing an interview with I didn't even realize he was doing an interview at that time. And first we met each other, whatever, we said hi, and all that. And then they, resumed their interview. We came back around, and I was like, Jerry, would you sign my sack? And everyone started laughing like crazy. And he literally pinched his nose and took a Sharpie and signed.
Nice. Flip it. Yeah, you got it upside down, but that's cool. Yeah, I think that was upside down. There you go.
Yeah. And
cool.
But I did switch to carry this. It's a nice, smooth brown sack.
Nice.
And now,
I mean, if you're gonna switch sacks, you might as well go brown.
Yeah, I like.
If you're gonna go down, you might as well go down brown.
I know, and I heard once you select this color, you'll never select another.
You're right. Oh boy. Okay, yeah. This is not devolving whatsoever.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. The whole Miculek clan, so far as I know, they're cool.
Yeah, they're very cool.
Yeah. Jerry was ridiculous cool. What a nice guy.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, hold on. Let me throw Patrick up in here because we are at the 9:00 hour.
Holy shit!
Yes. Yeah. Whenever you're having fun, you go through it goes fast. It goes fast, which definitely it has been fun. And I just want to say this: is it me or does Dark look like a tactical gnome with this red hat on and his new beard? Am I wrong here?
He looks like he's homeless.
I do.
Oh, there you go. Okay, it becomes a. What is the name for this mask? Not
that's the goon
balaclava.
beam.
Ski mask.
Okay.
But
there you go.
I do not ski. I'm just saying.
Are CEOs safe with you around?
Yes, mostly.
100%. Obviously, as long as it's not a PSA CEO, from what we learned today.
Heyo.
Of
Rich,
from Dark.
I may have very. Never mind. We'll talk later.
Our corporate reputation is going down the tubes.
Very blatantly started a war. No, I don't think so. Not at all.
Yeah, so, we're good. We have a corporate reputation.
You better build one.
Yeah.
So listen, we're here at the end of the we're past the 9:00 hour here, so we are going to start wrapping up. Big shout out to everyone who's joined us. Walt says man bag, your man bag.
Your merch.
Yeah, and then also Able Defense says, knives for just a moment. Are you doing reversible clips for the left side carry on the flippers?
Yes.
For some, yeah. So some of our knives do reverse carry. So there two do not. The journalists do not, and the birdshot do not. However, most of our other knives will in the future, and the other ones on our current product list do.
Okay, very cool. All right, so what I'm going to do here to wrap this up, big thanks, by the way, to DLD After Dark for joining us, as well as Flying Rich, and of course, Babyface P. Big shout out to Walter of Safety Harbor Firearms. He's in the chat. So I'm going to start with Babyface. I'm going to let you guys tell the folks out there how they can support you, communicate with you, etc. Patrick, I'll let you go first.
Support at... No, that's not the wrong thing. I'm reading off of something I'm working on. Support me at Chrome Vandiamar.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right there. Gunsmithing 0702. And there's a phone number at the bottom. Support at Chrome Vandium Arms. If you guys have a project, send it my way. I am happy to take on most anything other than roller guns. I know I owe somebody on this panel one roller gun, and that will be the last roller gun I ever work on. Besides
Wait,
that,
aren't you supposed to be working? Is that me or someone else?
Oh no, I don't owe you anything. We're good. You and I are square.
Oh. I thought you were working on something for me.
Oh no, I do owe you something. It'll happen. I owe you something.
Yeah, unless I'm Walter with some kind of like trading situation, I totally get brushed under the carpet.
No, believe me, I got 3 people waiting in the wings right now that need that have given me things and said, "Hey, just whatever you feel like it, do this project," and I owe them projects. So it will happen soon. Chrome Vandium Mars is the best place to find me, or you can find me on YouTube, BabyfaceP, or _FaceP on Instagram. That Instagram is the best place to go right now because that's where I'm posting most of my stuff.
Yeah, and if he gets real desperate, he will go to OnlyFans.
I've thought about it. I will sell most of my stuff first, but I have thought about it.
Yeah, I think gunsmith. There is no naked gunsmith on OnlyFans, Patrick. That could be you.
It's because they shut all of them down. People have tried it, actually.
Oh, they have? I didn't know that.
Grinding on metal earlier, and it was flying sparks. I'm not having my wing dang doodle out in the hot spark flashes. Not happening.
That's why you wear a
Plus,
denim
your lathe already has a taste for your flesh, so I'd be
careful. Yes, I must be very careful. No, do not put penis in lathe.
Yeah. If you do that, you deserve to go the way of the dodo. Okay, let's go to Rich, and then last but not least, we'll do Dark. But let's go to Rich next.
Yeah, so a lot of guys follow me on Flying Rich Firearms on YouTube and Flying Rich on YouTube. Flying Rich Firearms has been growing like crazy, and thank you. And all my ish can be found at flyingrich.com. All
right, awesome. Dark, thanks so much for coming on, man. It's always fun when you're on here. Always a fun show. Always cool hanging out with you.
Honestly, I always have a blast, and I know I missed a couple invites, and just grateful for you guys to have me on. Glad to have Rich on as well, and I just want to say thank you to you guys and to Babyface P as well, and just everyone in the chat. It's that feeling of being supported, like I've been doing this solo for like a year and a half now, so no job, just doing, you know, my running my companies and doing the online thing for a year and a half now. And although it's been challenging, it's been you know,
I'll never go back to working for somebody else. I love it.
Yeah, never. So, but just want to say thank you and share some gratitude there. Personally, I run a show on YouTube. It's DLD After Dark. Notice the DLD After Dark is above my head. You can find that on YouTube. I do a live show every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at around 10 p.m. Eastern. And you can also find me on Instagram, DLD After Dark, separated by underscores. And check out DLD Hardware and Definition Knives. And yeah, I'm basically anywhere. Just find your favorite search engine and type in DLD After Dark, and you'll find me everywhere, including a federal grand jury subpoena for DLD hardware.
Okay. All right. So you got the heads up. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Stay right there. Big thanks to everyone out in the chat. Walter, safe travels. If you're still out there, if you can hear us, be safe out there. See you soon. I will go through hitting all the buttons right now, and we'll see you guys. I think we'll do another one of these before the year ends, but I'll keep you guys posted. We're out of here. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.